Richard Chase, a serial killer from Sacramento who would kill his victims, cut out their organs, and then drink their blood. He is also known as the Vampire of Sacramento. Richard Chase was born in 1950. He had a normal childhood. However, as he was growing up, one aspect of his childhood was hurting little animals. One day, his mother found him covered in blood of a dead cat in his hand. He would mutilate small animals such as cats and birds without feeling remorse for the animal. He was admitted to Beverly Manor Psychiatric Hospital, where his fellow patients nicknamed him Dracula, as he was killing the small animals like cats and birds and would drink their blood. He did not get much attention that he should and was discharged from the hospital, but his habit of killing animals stayed the same. During his teens, Richard Chase suffered from erectile dysfunction, although he was attracted to women like normal teenager, but was not able to express it, and thought that drinking blood would help him from erectile dysfunction. One day at Pyramid Lake, 200 miles from Sacramento, authorities found a pickup truck stuck in the sand near the lake. After looking inside the truck, they made a shocking discovery. It was bloodstains everywhere in the vehicle, rifles and organs including liver in a bucket. Then they were looking for a person who may be responsible for this. They found a naked man bathing in the lake covered in blood. It was Richard Chase, age 27, and he was arrested by officials and was taken into custody. He further claimed that the blood in the vehicle and his body is his own. The blood and liver was tested, and it was confirmed that it came from the cow. Richard Chase was then released without a charge. In December 1977, on the peaceful east side of Sacramento, 51-year-old Ambrose Griffin was with his wife and 2 kids. He was unpacking bags from his car trunk after coming from supermarket. At the same time, a car goes by and shot Ambrose Griffin 2 times. The police came, but there was very little evidence for investigators. This was the first kill of Richard Chase. Psychologist defines him a very unusual serial killer, as some of his patterns did not match. It is unlikely for a serial killer to use a weapon for their killing, as most serial killer would rather just use their hand. That is also the reason Richard Chase had an unusual profile as a serial killer. Richard Chase would walk around the neighborhood looking for an open door. He would walk around at the daytime, as many people would not bother to lock their homes at that time. He had this psyche that whenever the door is unlocked, that means it is a clear invitation for him to come inside. However, whenever he finds a locked door, he would simply just walk away. One day he went inside a random house. Fortunately, there was no one there. Richard Chase urinated in their baby's dresser and then defecated in the baby's bed. That shows how psychologically disturbed he was. When the owners came home, he ran out from the back of the door. According to psychologists, this bizarre behavior means that he is showing disregard and disdain to the people who live there. However, the next person that saw him in his house was not so lucky. Around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he intruded the house of Teresa and David Wallen. They were a young couple in their 20s. David was at work. Teresa was 3 months pregnant at the time, and she was taking out the garbage when Richard came inside her house and shot her 2 times in the living room. What he did with her body was chilling. He dragged the body from the front door, and then he took a kitchen knife and mutilated her. He then cut out her organs and used a yogurt cup from the garbage to drink her blood. He took some of her organs and blood with him, and some and put it back inside her. FBI started profiling the killer, and they investigated that the killer is disorganized. He does not plan much before killing. His actions were because of rage and emotions. Psychologist believes that during his animals' killings as a young boy, he stopped feeling remorse and empathy for other living kind, which made him do killing out of curiosity just to see what is inside the body. He was so mentally ill that he would think that his stomach is upside down, and even his arteries are stolen. He also thought that he had vitamin C deficiency. He thought that drinking blood would solve most of his physical problem that he had in his mind. On January 1978, police received a call that 3 bodies has been found in the house of the Sacramento neighborhood. By looking at the bodies, it was clear that the killer was same as was in Teresa Wallen case. Daniel Meredith was shot dead in the living room. In the bedroom was her friends Evelyn Meredith, who was killed and mutilated, and her abdominal cavity was cut open and some of the blood and organ was taken, just like Teresa Wallen. On the other side of the bed was her 5-year-old son, who was shot dead too. Police had found that there had been a 2-year-old infant boy, David Ferreira, in the house who was missing. Richard Chase took that boy with him. Police found a witness who claimed that he had seen Richard Chase going inside the house and was wearing bright red color jacket. The sketch was made from the description given by witness and was made public by the police. It was identified by a woman who had been in the high school with Richard Chase. She told police her recent encounter with him at the shopping center parking lot. He was dirty. He had smudges all over his clothes and was wearing bright red color jacket. He was approaching her, telling her that he's from her high school. She felt weird and drove away. After knowing the identity, police did a background check on Richard Chase and found an address on him. 2 detectives went to his apartment and knocked, but no response from inside, as if it's empty. After a while, when the knocking stopped, Richard felt that officers have gone by now, so he came out and saw police. He ran, but was soon caught and arrested. The detective went inside his apartment in the hope that they may find an infant boy. His apartment was covered in blood. That includes his table, his bed, his sofa, and there was jars in the kitchen and refrigerator that contains organs and blood. But the 2-year-old David Ferreira was still missing. Richard was taken into custody and interrogated, but he never cooperated. He did not acknowledge anything at all. That is why police were not sure where was the 2-year-old infant. However, after 2 months, a caretaker of a church found the 2-year-old's body in the cardboard box beside the dumpster. The body was badly decomposed, and the head was decapitated. Richard tried to get insanity plea but was rejected. He was charged and sentenced to death. He later killed himself with an overdose of prescribed medications. Support us for more videos.